To welcome in Allan Dershowitz, Professor Emeritus at Harvard University, who's also been following this news. So, Professor, welcome and thanks for coming on. Unconditional discharge is the decision here. What do you make of it?
What I make of it is that Judge Marchant decided to manipulate the Supreme Court, and he did it successfully with two justices. Here's what he did. Never before in my experience have I ever heard a judge announce in advance what his sentence was going to be. What he announced is, my sentence will be no sentence. That got two justices to be able to say, well, you know, he's not going to jail, therefore we take the case. He should never have announced in advance what the sentence was going to be. By doing it, he was trying to influence the Supreme Court, and he apparently did influence two justices. Now, the good news for Trump is he has four justices who seem to think this case is worthy of review. All you need is 4 votes for certiorari. You need 5 votes to win the case, but all you need is 4 votes to have the case taken. So he will appeal. He will appeal to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will take the case. Once the case is taken on the merits, I think it will be reversed if lower courts don't already reverse the case. So this is an instance of judicial manipulation, game playing, Alice in Wonderland justice by Judge Marchant. He had one goal. He wants to have one of those trophies, hunters have, which have the animal that they killed hanging from their living room. He wanted a trophy with the head of Donald Trump that can be shown on it to everybody, all of his friends. He's the guy who sent Donald Trump into the status of being a convicted felon. I have some news. I will never call Donald Trump a convicted felon any more than I would have called a civil rights worker who was convicted of spitting on the street in the South when I was part of the demonstrations down there, a convicted felon. He is a convicted, innocent man, a convictedly framed up man. Nobody should call him a convicted felon, because that plays into the hands of the get Trump mentality that is destroying our legal system. And Marchant has contributed greatly to the destruction of our legal system, as has the District Attorney of New York.
Yeah, Professor, if you want to weigh in on what this looks like, I'm trying to broaden this out, thinking of this moment. Trump takes office in 10 days for a second time. Obviously, he's dealing with various superpowers, world leaders, foreign affairs. Undoubtedly, they're watching this. Maybe they don't understand the specifics of the legal system, but they watched Trump be found guilty on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Now they see the sentencing, and they see he doesn't get punished. He doesn't get jail time. He doesn't get fines. He doesn't get probation. But like you said, he does get the formalization of Trump as a felon. How does that play into the hands of other world leaders, or does it not?
It doesn't, except for people who want to get Trump. Anybody who is intelligent, thoughtful, and objective knows that 34 times 0 equals 0. There are 34 non-crimes he was convicted of. I've been doing this 62 years, teaching, practicing, litigating, writing about criminal law. I cannot tell you what the crime was. How do you convert a non-misdemeanor barred by the statute of limitations into a felony by going into the mind of somebody and speculating and allowing the jury to speculate in a multiple choice way as to what the actual intent was? Again, in 62 years, I've never seen a case like this. This is worse than Stalin. Let me explain why it's worse. Lavrenti Beria, the head of the KGB, said to Stalin, "Show me the man and I'll find you the crime, find you the crime." The Attorney General, the District Attorney, all searched the case books. They searched every law book. They could not find the crime, so they made one up. Finding a crime is terrible. Making up a crime from scratch is even worse. And if they can do it to Donald Trump, they can do it to you. And if this precedent is allowed to be established, it will do horrible justice to our legal system. Judge Marchant has done a terrible disservice. The Attorney General, the District Attorney of New York, they've all done terrible disservices. They put their own political ambitions and their democratic friendships over the rule of law. This case should never, ever, ever have been brought. And the sentencing today is a perfect example. It wasn't a sentencing. What did the judge say? I sentence you not to be sentenced. Yeah. I sentence no sentence. There's no sentence, so I sentence you to what? This is just an attempt to try to get that trophy so that his presidency is burdened by the claim that only subjective and biased people will believe that he is a convicted felon. He is not a convicted felon. Let's be clear about that. You can't be a convicted felon if there's no crime, and there is no crime here.
Professor Dershowitz, thank you very much for joining us. Incredible legal analysis as always. We really do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.